After watching Patrick Stirling on ResolveCon, I've been having a play with an idea. I saw this on Patrick's channel a while ago, but he brought it up at ResolveCon, which reminded me. What I've got here is a clip, and what I want to do is I want to drag the call out. I want to make a call out for my clip. Let's bring up the inspector. What we want to do is move that around. So I'm going to go to my Fusion overlays, and then I can move this just over here and put this on this junk here. We're not going to do any tracking or anything. Let's have it yellow. Then I need to change my font. Let's make it a bit bolder. I want to make it a bit bigger. Move this up here as well. So let's have a look how that is. Great. My problem is I've got a few more of these to do, and I don't want the coil out, but I want this to be available for me. Well, it's really easy. All you do is jump over to the Fusion page, highlight it, right click it, go to settings, save as. Don't need to make a macro, it already is a macro. So if I go into my titles, I'm going to put it in styles and call it junk. And now when I go back, what I can do is just update in DaVinci Resolve. There we go. We go back into the effects library, and let's get rid of that one off the timeline. If I go into my styles, then what I've got here is junk. I can just bring it down, and away we go. Everything's already set up, and I've got this to use over and over again. Now, one thing that Patrick actually showed us was if we go up the Text Plus tool here, what we can do is we can set this up, and then we can just save it out and keep all these controls. So this is super powerful, because if I come in here and let's do, and then I'm going to jump into shading, and we're going to come here and we're going to give it that red border. We're going to make that bigger. Then we're going to come into well, not 3, because 3 is set up slightly differently. We're going to make this into a yellow border. Now if I come border and I push that out, let's go a bit further. Let's grab 6. Now this is going to be blue, and what we find is if we push that out, it doesn't go far enough, but we can type in there and make it bigger. Do we want some animation on this? Well, yeah, why not? Let's have a little bit of animation on. So I'm just going to close these, jump into the text, right click and go follower, and then I'm going to jump into Fusion, the follower modifier here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to come into, in fact I'm going to come into transform, going to go to size Y, back to 0. I'm going to click a keyframe, then I'm going to come up 3 frames, and we're going to exaggerate this for demonstration purposes. I'm going to come another 3 keyframes, put it back down to 1, and then let's go to timing and make that 3. So now I've got my animation. Let's go. And what I can do now, and again, thank you very much Patrick Stirling, I right click on here. I don't have to go macro, create macro. I can go settings, save as, and I can go to titles and put it anywhere you want, but I'm going to put it in here. Click back to the edit page, and again get rid of that. If we go into styles, then just here I've got a let's go. I can bring that down, and there we go. And if you look in the inspector, I've got all the controls that's in the Text Plus, the text, the layout, transform, shading, image, all the information's there, but it's set up for what I want as a default. Doesn't need to go in a power bin, it just goes into the effects library. Now you'll notice I've done some of these and I've got thumbnails. Way to do that, on the timeline, let's jump back into Fusion, and I've got a resize node which I've called thumbnail, and if we look at the size of this, I've set it to 104 by 58, which is the size of the thumbnail. I can then grab an image, a frame, and this one was let's go. I want it to be a PNG. Save it as a PNG. That'll save it out to DaVinci Resolve. Occasionally you have to restart DaVinci Resolve. Let's get rid of that thumbnail. Let's go back, and it's updating. There's a bit of a pause there, and styles. And there we go, I've actually got a thumbnail as well. So there we go. Once again, thanks to Patrick at ResolveCon for pointing out that you can just grab a Text Plus, you can do pretty much whatever you want to it. We can edit controls, we can animate to path, we can add modifiers, and then just save it. We don't have to make it a macro, and it retains all its pages, text, layout, transform, shading, image settings. Way to go!